rotaryshelters@gmail.com.
The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Everywhere.
Can you hear me now? Everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Talk Today is brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered. Visit cineco.ky for your quote today.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Charles Glidden.
Coming up, why did I start wearing a hat? This afternoon, we hear from Academy Sports and also the champions of the Jamaica Premier League, Portmore United. And we learn about skin cancer and how you can protect yourself from it. Talk Today's next. Stay with me.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon. I'm Charles Glidden. Welcome to Talk Today. It's a kind of rainy Thursday afternoon out there. We had a good brief, intense shower earlier. Just enough to water the grass, water the plants, cool off the place. And it's nice to get a little cool off here because, boy, I tell you, the last few days it's been a hot one out there. But we got some tropical waves moving in, and we've got some action out there in the Atlantic that we got to, at least keep our eye on. Let's hope it doesn't develop into anything too serious. But we're going to start the afternoon off talking football. It's a good weekend for football in Cayman. Jamaica's Premier League's 2026 champions, Portmore United, is visiting Cayman. They're being hosted by Cayman's Academy Sports Club, one of the top sports clubs and youth development programs that we have in Cayman. And joining me right now, we have Ricardo Smith. He's the coach of Portmore United. And I'm going to get the rest of you to introduce yourselves here. Who do we have here?
We have Demore Daly here today.
Jabari Campbell.
Zachary Scott.
Okay, and the last two of you there are from Academy. So there was a match yesterday. Yeah, how did that go?
We Portmore United won the game 2-0 yesterday.
Okay, so you got to come back. The pressure is on.
Yeah.
Tell us about Portmore. Give us a little background on Portmore.
Portmore United. We were originally from Clarendon. We are the most successful team in Jamaica, Premier League wise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we came to Portmore, I think in 2003. You know, hence the name changed into Portmore United. So
How did that come about?
the name Portmore United?
No, I mean the move.
It was more like on the business end,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in terms of facilities being better there, you know, having a better home ground and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So, you say you're the most successful now. Do you have a youth program also?
Yeah, we have youth program. We also won the Elite Cup under 18 back early on in May. You know, back in Jamaica. There, we were a part of numerous youth competitions also. You know, but we were pointing out the Elite under 18. We won that one.
Mm-hmm. So, let's talk about your youth development program that you have at Portmore United. Is this a sort of open program, or are you more like, you know, the Europeans and in the UK where you're looking for talent?
Yeah, we look for talent yearly. I think around the January part of the year, we would have tryouts and we would pick youngsters who we think can progress and so forth. You know, Portmore has always been a team that believes in youth. I think in the island we are the club who have sent the most players abroad, Europe and North America. So we continue to do that, and that's our main aim, especially coming into this coming season.
So
youths playing.
There's a number of guys out there playing pro in Europe that got their foundation at Portmore.
Not probably now, but in the past we've had players playing in the Premiership in England. Claude Davis was one. We had players playing even in the lower leagues. The Championship, Rudolph Astin, who is also the coach at Portmore United. You know, Omar Daly, those players, if you Google them, I'm sure they would come up. You know, and as I told you, we have players who went all the way to Norway. We have had players who played in the US, the MLS. Corey Burke now is a part of our setup. He didn't came through the youth program, but he was a part of us before we went overseas. So Portmore United has always been a club, an institution that exports players.
Now, did the two of you come up through Academy's youth development program?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, we both did. We were both a part of like the original youth team.
The originals.
Yeah. How Academy field is now, it wasn't like that when we started. So it's been a good journey.
Well, since you were part of the original youth that came up through there, tell us a little bit about it, the youth development program that goes on at Academy.
We have teams in all age groups, under 13, 15, 17. I'm actually one of the coaches. I coach the under 13 boys.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of talent right now, and it's an exciting future for the club.
How do you run your system as far as who gets into the Academy program?
Well, it's a community club, so we accept everyone, but we
Yeah.
have an elite team, which we call the blue team, and a white team, which is the development team for each age group.
So I went to your website, and you know, I see that the first thing you see is that picture there. But, I don't know if that's everybody that's in the program or not, but a lot of young people.
Yes, a lot, yes.
You have any idea how many people have come through the program?
Comes through. I'm not 100% sure, but right now we probably have like 350 youths, between that and 400, something like that.
Active?
Some are away. There's a lot away at school as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of like under 23 players away at like NCAA 1 schools, stuff like that. Both his brothers came through Academy and they're away at school now.
Yeah. Well, tell us about your work and your development at Academy.
Well, I started at Academy when I was like around 9, and yeah, it's just been like a wonderful experience. Really, they've gotten me places where I don't think I would have gotten anywhere else. Like I've been to trials in England, Portugal, Germany, and I've also been away to the US for school. And I mean, it goes back to our motto, the books in the ball. We got it all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So that's the name Academy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, from what I saw on the website, it seems like you don't only talk about and work on football, but it's being a good person, a good man.
Yeah, it's important we prepare everyone for life in general to be good men. So, yeah, that's one thing we try to do at Academy.
And I forgot your name.
Demario Daly.
So did you come up through a youth program also?
Yes, actually I did. I came up in the Phoenix All-Stars Football Academy in Jamaica, which players like Liam Bailey came from, Dujan and Whisper Richards. That's where I've been since like I was probably 10. So that's where I got my development from. It took me to places like Belgium, Germany, Netherlands, and actually Cayman too in 2018. So that's where I got my development.
How important are youth programs to football in Jamaica, Cayman, the Caribbean, really?
Very, very important, just like anywhere else in the world, because the older you get, the more you tend to go out of the sport. So we need young players to replace you. If you don't have youth in your whatever senior team, you're not going to progress. You need the energy and you need the enthusiasm from those youngsters, the ones who are willing to learn. Older players, sometimes we feel like we know enough. Sometimes we don't listen to coaches, but the younger ones, they are the ones who push the program. So it's very important. And if you're going to make money off transfers, the younger ones are the ones you're going to make the real bucks from. The older players, if you sell an older player, it's not going to be much. So you have to develop youth.
Mm-hmm. So in Jamaica, is football semi-pro or is it professional?
We call it, you sign a contract, you sign a professional contract. It may be not as lucrative as in Europe or North America, but people can make a living there off the football. You can make a living once you know what you're doing with your money. It's up to you. But we know people who has left school and hadn't been in a job like another job, just straight football, and they're living off it.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, are you pretty much further ahead on that sort of development than a lot of places in the Caribbean?
Meaning in terms of youth or in
pro? That somebody can actually dedicate their life to football, even if it's just playing locally in Jamaica.
I would think so.
Not too many places in the Caribbean.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure of other places and how lucrative those contracts are, pay bills are, or whatever. I'm not sure about that, but I know I have examples of players who have never kicked up, done another job aside from kicking a ball, and they're living off it. So
no day job.
No day job. Maybe better in Europe or North America, but
yeah,
if you know what I mean.
So I mean that's pretty much a leadership position as far as football in Caribbean is concerned, from my limited knowledge of it.
In Jamaica?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that. As I say, I'm not sure of other places. Trinidad, Cayman. I've never coached there or played there or spoken to anyone who has been in those places. But what I know from Jamaica, we are trying our best to get it at the top. Especially in the coaching divisions, we are doing all these licenses. I think we're at the A license now, the highest level in Jamaica. A few coaches have left the island to pursue the pro license, and we're CONCACAF. We're trying to link up with CONCACAF to get there now. So the better the coaching, the better the playing, more spectators, the contracts would be even better.
Okay. All right, we have to take a little break here, but we'll be right back talking more football.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
On another place, but do on another story? From Pedro St. James and Fort George to John McLean Drive and Mission House, every corner of Cayman has a story to tell. Visit legendsbehindherlandmarks.ky, explore the interactive map, and discover the people, places, and moments that shaped our islands. Learn something new. Visit somewhere new. Find out where we from. Start your journey today at legendsbehindherlandmarks.ky. Brought to you by the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage.
The government is inviting the public to share their views on proposed changes to tobacco and vaping laws. The proposal aims to protect our young people, strengthen vaping rules, and address concerns about disposable vapes. We want to hear from parents, educators, businesses, and the wider community. The consultation opens on the 21st of August. Log on to publicconsultation.gov.ky to help shape the future of tobacco and vaping policy in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we're talking football and a big match coming up on the weekend. Cayman Academy Sports Club versus Jamaica's Premier League's 2026 champions, Portmore United. So tell us what's going to be happening on Saturday. We know there's a match, but there's other things happening also, right?
Yeah, the match will kick off at 5 p.m., but there's also a lot of things going on for the youths. There's a five-a-side on the side of the field, which I went to go have a look at because I'm injured at the moment, so that game was probably just as hard as the men's game. But, yeah, a lot of things for the youths to come out and have fun, but just come out and support the club.
Okay. So this is going to be at the Academy Field?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And there's food for sale, drinks for sale, everything.
Now, make sure everybody knows where that is.
On Outpost Street in Georgetown.
Okay. So
yes, sir.
That's sort of like behind UCCI there.
Behind Triple C.
Behind Triple C.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. So, and is there a charge?
The tickets are $20, but if I remember correctly, I think it's free for kids under 12.
Yeah, I saw that on the poster. Yeah.
Yeah. So all the kids can come out and they get in for free. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
So that's another way that you encourage young people to get involved in football.
Yes, for sure. Because for them to see it for their own eyes, like as a coach, I could preach how much you need to work hard and have the hunger to play, but for them to come out and see the Jamaican champions do it themselves, it's good for them to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So. When you sit there and listen to the coach here talk about, the level of football in Jamaica, where are we at in Cayman?
Well, obviously, Jamaica is a dominant force in the Caribbean. In Cayman, we're trying to get to that. So games like this are important for us to raise our level.
To go up against the champions and learn from the experience?
Yeah, to be the best, you got to play against the best. So these challenges are good for us. It makes us better.
Yeah. But, I mean, as far as the state of football in Cayman in general, how would you describe it?
I would say it's on a rise because, recently for the national team, we got promoted to League B for the CONCACAF Nations League.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's on the rise. But like Zach said, I mean, going against the champions of Jamaica, who's Jamaica is probably the best team in our region, the CFU region. And so, just going against them will help us develop better.
So what would you say to youngsters out there who, say they want to play football? I mean, I almost every little boy I run into, they said, you ask them what they want to be, I want to be a football player. What's involved in that? Because sometimes I don't think they know the work that it takes
a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah, and hard work. You got to be obsessed with it if you want to make it somewhere in football.
Yeah, you want to add to that?
They're so correct, you know. A lot of hard work, commitment, and you have to be obsessed with it, as you just said. Football is no joke. Probably at the minors, when they're just playing for fun.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get into the professional world, there's no fun in it. We see those guys overseas, they're driving all these big cars and whatever. The sacrifice they make behind the closed doors on the training pitch, it's no joke. Trust me, they're so correct.
Does it take more than just raw talent?
Yes,
to go all the way.
Yes, it definitely does, because even since I've got older, as coach said, the kids just run around to just play because they like it. Because when you get older, you get to see that it takes a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work, and a lot of faith in God. Especially, you gotta have a lot of faith, because there's gonna be times when you got adversities, you gotta face them, and as you know, adversities show character. You have to have a lot of character. So, football is very tough. You gotta have your mental space ready for everything that comes at you, and the injuries, the setbacks, being far away from your family, especially when you aspire to go overseas. So it's basically a mental fight which you have to go through every day, is to know that you have to get to the next day, go to training when you're tired. So it's all a part of the professional life. So people may see it as roses and blooms, but it's a hard job.
Mm-hmm. But when you do get out there on the field, you have fun.
Definitely.
But it takes that preparation beforehand to actually enjoy it.
Another example of it's hard work and no joke. They can tell you they're from a very good academy. You have 100 kids trying out for one position. And I could be the most talented in terms of the ball at my foot or my feet, and I'm not the one chosen. It's the one who does the hard work who is chosen, because the club is probably looking for someone who runs back and forth instead of someone who wants the ball at his feet all the time. So that shows you, out of 100 kids, 1 or 2 make it.
Yeah, that's what a lot of young people don't realize when they set out.
Yes. Yeah. So and sometimes some of those the ones who are left out, they end up taking it the wrong way to the mind and to the brain. It doesn't end well for some of them. I've seen it, because they know they are very talented and they're like, I'm better than that one, but it's not what you have the club wants. It's just the hard work of the other player club wants.
Okay. And the character.
And also the character, because both of us could be here, and I'm here, and I would talk to these guys, and he's just sitting around not talking. The coach is watching.
Taking notes.
Yes, taking notes. So they're gonna send him home and keep me, because of the interaction between me and my fellow teammates.
Because it is rare to be selected at the premier level. I mean, academy enforces and emphasizes academics also, right?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, tell us about that aspect of it.
Yeah, so like I said, we have a motto: books and the ball, we got it all. So it's not just about football; it's also about doing well in school and having a career. If not in football, somewhere else, just being a good person outside. But I think academy, like Portmore, we've sent a lot of students away for the school, and my 2 brothers are away for school right now, playing in Division 1 football.
So they went on scholarships?
Yes, sir.
So I mean that's a great opportunity when you can get a scholarship to play football.
Yes, sir.
And I guess that's a rare thing also when you talk about the number of people who want to do that or are going after those scholarships.
Yes, sir.
So is academy also have female teams?
Yeah, we have under 15 girls team, under 17 girls team, and a women's team. And actually, there was success for the under 14 girls the other day. We had 3 academy girls take part in that, and they won the CFU tournament. So we're really proud of them for that.
What was that overseas or was that?
Yeah. It was overseas. I think it was Trinidad. Yeah.
So, have the women come on stronger and came on in recent times as far as football is concerned?
Well, I would say they've faced a challenging time because they've had some very, very hard games against like Costa Rica and stuff, which we know is a huge jump. But there's definitely a lot of talented females out there in Cayman, 100%.
What about in Jamaica? You got female teams?
Yeah, even our national team, I think we went to the last 2 World Cups, something like that.
Yeah.
Even our national team, I think if not the last 2 World Cup, one before, then missed one and something like that. And we're on the course of going to a 3rd right now. Plus we have a local women's Premier League. We have school girls leagues. So it's progressing. It's not as huge as the males, but it's getting there.
Yeah, so it's a growing thing throughout the Caribbean, I guess.
Yep.
Do you think we'll ever see a Caribbean team in World Cup again? I mean, I know Jamaica, is there, but
it was so close for the last World Cup.
Yeah,
it was so close. Everyone expected Jamaica to be there, but Curacao. Curacao was there.
Yeah.
Curacao is part of our So Curacao, they were there 80.
On Haiti, yeah.
Also 80.
Oh yeah.
So 2 teams. I think that's the first time.
I think so, yeah.
Of this region being in the World Cup. So
there's the future is bright.
Very.
So I mean, I guess are you familiar with football in Cayman?
Not that much. I have friends, former teammates who migrated to Cayman, and they were playing in the Cayman League. I saw a few of them, and they were telling me the impact and the intensity of what the clubs here play, and tell me how it runs and everything. I'm not that much knowing a lot about it, but I can tell you I've heard a few things.
Yeah, but because the reason I asked, I had in mind to ask you, what do you think Cayman can do to move it up a notch?
As we were speaking before, it all starts from youth. Getting the youths ready, preparing them, building a system right through the national teams. You have a coach who plays the system at the top, so when the other kids get there, up to the senior level, they are used to what the coach is doing. It will make it much, much, much more easier whenever you play one system and everybody's used to it. So that system becomes what you do every day. So that will definitely help. And also the professionalism of the league, whatever you guys can do to get it to the better level. Coaching education is a huge part of it also. When you got coaches who understand what a player needs to develop or to progress, it helps with wonders.
So you would help if coaches could go and say work with teams that are obviously superior to what we have in Cayman.
Yeah, and also, as I said, the coaching education, meaning, get them into the license, the CONCACAF.
Explain that for me, the license.
The license, all right, you have levels, Back in Jamaica, right now I think you can coach a Manning Cup, that's a schoolboys level, if you don't have a C license. A C license is also approved by CONCACAF. So you go in, probably it lasts for a week, and it bring you to all the stages you need to know from developing players to preparation, from match preparation, how you set out the training sessions and all. And then after that, I think you have the B license, which is a bit higher than the C. Then you go further. And then the A, I think, is the highest one at the moment outside of the pro license, where you learn different things. You coach all different types of whatever. But the A license, when you're coaching or whatever, you're coaching 11v11. So whatever you're doing here, you're supposed to know how to do it with an 11 versus another 11. So those things helps the program progress, and I've seen where it has helped in the Premier League in Jamaica, because back in the days when I was playing, now the players are getting more coaching than back when I was playing. And I stopped playing in 2013. I played in the local Premier League for 15 years. But now I see we're getting better coaching than what we got before.
What does that training include, like learning how to deal with an individual, the kind of different personalities that you have to develop?
Definitely. It also teaches leadership. The way some coaches go about dealing with players is not always the right way. They say sometimes the coaches, when they're wrong, they're right, and when they're right, they're double right. I don't think that is always the case. You have to know to deal with a person. Not because you're the leader, you're going to be that aggressive leader all the time. Not every child or adult takes it the right way. So you have to know how you come across, or put your message across, and so forth.
We have to take a break. We'll be right back.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
Hi, this is Gary King from Totally 80s. My special guest this week is Simon LeBon from Duran Duran. Simon shares some of the tour secrets of the band. I also bring you the latest news on the biggest stars of the decade.
This is Totally 80s.
Heard on Saturdays from 2 until 4 p.m. on Breeze 105.3 and 91.9.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we're talking football here with Cayman's Academy Sports Club and Jamaica's Premier League's 2026 champions, Portmore United. They're going to be going at it this weekend, and you can come out and enjoy the action at the Academy Sports Club's field on Outpost, is it?
Yeah, Outpost Street.
Outpost Street. So, mark that on the calendar. Don't let that slip away from you this weekend. Interesting question came up during the break. But in the case of you have a very talented player willing to make the sacrifice, do the work, the hard work, but, just happens to land on a team that doesn't do very well. Is there opportunity for that talented player to shine and perhaps be seen by even a Premier League team, and who wants to pick that person up and sign him?
It's usually easier when the good players, the talented ones, are on the teams that are not that good.
Really?
Yes, it's usually easier because that player always stands out. That player always stands out. And it doesn't take 90 minutes for a coach to realize that this player is special. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 touches off the ball. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It doesn't take, to look at Lionel Messi, it doesn't take 90 minutes to show that he's better than everybody else. It doesn't take.
Yeah.
And other ways, even if that talent is not spotted, we are in an era now where social media, people post things online, people try to get big clubs emails and send around videos, and the teams are gonna want to see clips of you without the ball. If you're good on the ball, they're gonna want to see clips of you without the ball. So if they're interested, they will probably send for you for a trial or something, depending on the age. And another example of what he said about Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey, he was in Jamaica. The people at his institution realized he was very good, so they took him to Europe themselves. So they took him and they took him around to Ajax, other different clubs in Europe, because they knew someone was gonna pick him. So there are numerous ways you can do it. They can afford it. Someone that probably like me couldn't afford to do that, So there are other ways you could get to clubs. Everybody has an email, everybody has a site, everybody has whatever, and there are videos on YouTube. You can upload videos and people see. So a lot of good talents, as you asked, slipped through or went by unnoticed. But there are ways to get it out there.
Do those clubs in Europe have like open tryouts at any point?
Tryouts, everybody has tryouts because they're looking for kids. They're looking for the next Messi. They're looking for the next Ronaldo. And you don't know who is walking through the door. I am at Portmore United and I am responsible also for the youth program. And I tell myself I am not. If a kid comes to me and says, you want a child, even after the child date is gone, I am not sending him home. I am looking first to see who is coming through. They know about it because you never know who walks through the door. You never ever know who walks through the door.
But add on to that. He says you all know about it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, like he said, you never know who walks through the door, but also like you never know who's watching you too. So, like, these friendlies here, it might be just a friendly and all, but you never know. There might be a scout from England or Germany or Portugal. They came to the Cayman Islands for a vacation and they heard that there's a football game going on and they decided to come out and watch. So you never know who's watching. At Academy, we normally have like a yearly trip where you go to like the States or England or somewhere in Europe, and we've had a couple of players as well. When we went to it's called the USA Cup in Minnesota, we had a couple of players as well that got scouted from just playing out there. So yeah, you just never know who's watching.
So every game counts.
Every game counts, friendly or not.
You don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
You have to be consistent. Every time you step on the pitch, you have to be 100%.
And that takes a lot of dedication.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell us about it.
Well, to actually add on that, it comes with a lot of sacrifice, as we said before, because even as Coach brought up Liam Bailey, in that situation, his manager wasn't really financially stable. It was basically a rough patch for them. They had to be carrying some big bags, going through a lot, finding shelter, going through this eating one food for the week and fighting through the weather. Doesn't have cold clothes for the cold, and it comes with a lot of sacrifice again because it's a lot. You have to definitely have someone in your corner, and at the same time you have to have God in it, because as you said, you can have a Ronaldo in Cayman and he's not getting recognized. And as you said, every game counts. You never know who's watching. So the more he puts in, there's definitely going to be someone that's going to see him, that he stands out, and that this player is definitely a talent and we need to get him to a higher level. So even these are the games that we're playing, like they're playing against us. It's a good showcase for any player that stands out because, as you know, we're basically in a higher league than them, and Jamaica has more exposure than probably Cayman because we have sourced a lot of players overseas. So even this little preseason game is a good game for any player that wants to showcase yourself to make it to a higher level.
So the same team that played, what was it, yesterday evening?
Yeah.
As far as academy, the same team will play on Saturday also?
Yeah, it will be the same team. Hopefully I can be a part of it. I'm just coming back from an injury, so hopefully I can get some minutes on Saturday.
So you didn't play yesterday?
No, sadly, no. This would have been a game I would have loved to play in, but yeah. But it will be the same team, yeah. So we'll have to adjust our tactics and come at them differently.
Yeah. So any names that we would recognize that going to be playing on Saturday for academy?
Actually, academy probably has the most players as a part of the national team. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, we have
both of us play.
Yeah, both of us play on the national team.
Yeah, most of our players. We take up most of the national team spots. So
that says a lot.
Yeah.
For that program.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but like just to let people know, who can they expect to see on the field?
Jabari.
Yeah.
Starting right back. Elijah Seymour starting left wing. There's a bunch of names. You want to help me out?
Harrison Hugh.
Young talent. Cameron Gray starts for the national team. Who else?
Either
Jacoby Tugman, Trey Ebanks. A lot of talent there for sure.
Eddie Salaveri,
Eddie.
Nasir Smith, both young talented players. Academy is a fairly young team, so we have a bunch of young players. So,
who's going to start for Portmore?
We haven't really decided yet for the second game because we have 2 training sessions.
Stay local.
We have 2 training sessions in between.
Yeah.
But in recognition, Corey Burke has numerous caps at the national team, played in World Cup qualifiers, Gold Cup, and so forth. He was a few years in the MLS, probably about 6 years playing in the MLS, and he was in Europe before. Also, Tariq Zimenez, he was a part of one of those clubs in Belgium.
Yeah, club Cercle Bruges, I think.
Yeah, he was a part of Bruges in Belgium. We have Ronaldo Robinson, Javier Brown, Ramon Howell, the captain, who couldn't make it here today. So we have a few, and many more who has been a part of the national setup. So it would be a good encounter.
All right, so it's all going to happen on Saturday, 5 o'clock?
5 p.m. kickoff, yes, sir.
That's the kickoff, so be there before 5 o'clock. And so it's at the Academy Field, which is on Outpost.
Outpost Street, yes.
Yeah, and what are some of the other activities? They're going to be there for youngsters?
A lot of things going on for the kids on the side. Some 5-a-side games, probably bouncy castle, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Food on sale. So come out with your families and support.
And you got a lot of food out there and everything?
Lots of food. I just came from coaching a camp at the field, and they're loading up the place. So we'll have everything, so make sure you come out.
All right, so admission is $20 for people over 12. Under 12, absolutely free. So, you can take the family out and, have a great afternoon on Saturday at the Academy Field on Outpost Street. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me in the studio, and have a great match.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
It's 1 o'clock. Let's check in with the newsroom.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. The Cayman Islands Intellectual Property Office and Center for Business Development will hold 4 free workshops to help businesses understand intellectual property. CIIPO said the brand and business sessions are open to existing Center for Business Development clients and the public. The first workshop is scheduled for Friday, August 21st at 3 p.m. at Suite 101 Baytown Plaza, West Bay Road. Further sessions are planned for September 21st, October 23rd, and November 20th. Topics include trademarks, turning intellectual property into a business asset, avoiding legal and branding risks, and opportunities for licensing, investment, and expansion. Pre-registration is required. In international news, the White House has accused more than 40 countries of helping China avoid U.S. tariffs by rerouting trade through nations with lower American import duties. In a report published today, the White House said the activity involved $60 billion in trade. It says Customs and Border Protection is using an AI-powered system to check export labeling. In other news, Incheon International Airport says it has overtaken Dubai as the world's busiest airport for international passengers. The South Korean airport recorded 38.4 million international travelers in the first 6 months of 2026. Preliminary figures released through today show Dubai's passenger numbers fell after the start of the Iran conflict, while more passengers transferred through Incheon. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
HSA's Orthopedic Clinic has relocated to the second floor of the Smith Road Medical Center. Our dedicated team of highly skilled orthopedic surgeons treat conditions ranging from spine to ankle injuries in adult and pediatric patients. We offer minimally invasive procedures from ligament reconstruction to hip and knee replacement. If you have experienced an injury due to sports or day-to-day activities, call 949-8600 and schedule an appointment with HSA's Orthopedic Clinic, now located at the Smith Road Medical Center.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Urban Adolphus Tibbetts Certificate of Honor, 1914 to 1991. Urban Tibbetts was the 12th and last child of William and Henrietta Tibbetts of Kimmenbrack. As a young man, he went to sea for a few years. When he returned home, he served as a police officer for 3 years and then returned to sea. After retiring from sea for the second time, he joined the Public Works Department and within a few years became supervisor. During his years as works supervisor, he supervised the construction of Kimmenbrack Airport, the road to the lighthouse on the bluff, and the road on the south side of the Brack. He did not just supervise the work, but worked along with the men on the job. Urban raised cattle, and when he butchered at Christmas time, he often gave away beef to families who could not pay for it. He was always willing to help those in need. In the early 1950s, he donated the land for Fellowship Baptist Church, and once it was built, he joined the church and became a deacon. Urban was married to Vida McLaughlin, and the couple had 7 children.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and let's get a little weather update here. And the present temperature here in Georgetown is 88 degrees, a little cooler than we've been having for this week. We're actually below 90 degrees. And let's see what else we got here as far as current conditions. Winds coming out of the southeast at about 7.5 knots. Relative humidity is at 77%. And taking a look at forecast, we've got a tropical wave just to the west of Jamaica, and that is expected to produce isolated showers by this afternoon as it moves over the Cayman area. And tonight we can expect partly cloudy skies with haze and a 30% chance of overnight showers with possible thunder. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Winds out of the east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas running at 3 to 5 feet. And we have a low tide coming up at 3:51. Next high tide 10:08 tonight. Sunset at 6:53. And the outlook is for a decrease in the chance of showers from Friday as the tropical wave moves west of the Cayman area. And checking in with the National Hurricane Center in Miami, we've got 2 strong tropical waves out there in the Atlantic. And actually, they've been reduced here a little bit, right? They were talking about, depression could be forming, but no, they're no longer red, they're just orange. So both of them, though, still moving westward to west-northwestward, and they are forecast to be moving into an area where condition could be conducive for some gradual development, but hopefully they're just going to fizzle out. Maybe El Nino will do a job on them and keep them suppressed so we can continue to just have some nice rain, but nothing very serious. Well, some time ago, I promised to reveal why I began wearing my hat, right? And today's the day. I'm going to tell you why a fedora has become part of my fashion style. It all started with a sore in my ear that would not heal no matter what I did. So I went to Integra Healthcare to see my dermatologist, Dr. David Altamura, who diagnosed my sore as basal cell carcinoma. That's skin cancer. So finding out that I had skin cancer made me become much more cautious, or maybe even a bit paranoid about exposure to the sun. And so I donned my fedora. And guess what? The ladies started telling me, "Oh, I like your hat." So I started wearing my hat on a regular basis. And Dr. David Altamura, a consultant dermatologist and a dermatosurgeon at Integra Healthcare, joins me now to discuss skin cancer and how we can protect ourselves from it. Dr. David,
Good afternoon, Mr.
Good to
How
see
are
you.
Nice to see you.
So, tell us, how many different kinds of skin cancer are there?
There are different types. Essentially, we can classify skin cancers in two large categories: the so-called melanoma and the non-melanoma skin cancers. Melanoma is essentially a cancerous mole, which originates from the same cells of moles, the so-called melanocyte cells. It's potentially an aggressive type of skin cancer. It can be life-threatening if not diagnosed in an early stage. And it can appear over a pre-existing mole or as a new lesion. When it appears as a new lesion at the beginning, it may be very difficult to be identified because it can look like a very little spot on our skin, which, however, grows faster and in a more irregular way compared to the normal moles. And then we have a group of non-melanoma skin cancers, which originate from the cells of the epidermis, which is what we see, so the visible part of our skin. There are different types, but two are more common: the basal cell carcinoma and the squamous cell carcinomas are extremely common, and I believe, if I'm not wrong, that basal cell carcinoma is the most common type of cancer in humans. Likely are not so aggressive in most cases, so very rarely become life-threatening, so they metastasize. But they can be locally invasive. They can grow in areas of our body where become difficult to be treated, like the face, the ears, the scalp, and can also appear in large numbers. So we see people that have a non-melanoma skin cancer one after the other. So surgery and other treatments are available for non-melanoma skin cancers. For melanoma, surgery is the gold standard treatment.
So if you have a mole, then it's important that you pay attention to any kind of changes you might see happening.
Yes, of course. Whatever is new appears as a new lesion and changes, or a pre-existing lesion, we can call it mole or skin lesion, which has been present for some time, but start changing in color, shapes, size, should be, considered as potentially, dangerous and should be checked by a dermatologist with experience in skin lesion recognition. In most cases, a changing lesion is not a skin cancer, but, we need to consider that.
Just make sure.
Make sure. Regardless to the presence, so the presence of something that we are worried about, like a changing mole, and it should be. Everybody should have a skin check. Okay, should have a skin check because sometimes skin cancer grows very slowly, and we don't recognize the change. Or we do, but in a late stage. Okay. And also with a proper skin examination, we can also identify the precancerous lesions, which can lead in time to non-melanoma skin cancers, or we can identify moles at risk to be, for melanoma. So moles that can gradually progress into a melanoma. And sometimes we remove moles to reduce the risk, or we monitor moles in time to understand which moles becomes in time more dangerous. Is the concept of mole mapping. So take accurate and magnifying photos of moles, review them after a certain period of time, and see what changes and what doesn't.
They have a comparison to see if anything is happening.
Photographic records.
So you actually recommend that, just like how a person would go to a doctor for a general checkup, That you go specifically just to see how the skin is doing? Get a skin check?
I believe that the general skin check should be part of a health check in any adult person. Okay, regardless to the let's say skin type, regardless to the color of our skin, the melanin index. Of course, some people are genetically more at risk for skin cancer. Okay. But it can happen to anybody. And the good thing is the skin is the organ we see. So to check the skin is not an invasive procedure, right?
So you say it can also be genetic. So if you have a parent who has had skin cancer, you might be vulnerable to it?
So the risk factors for skin cancers can be categorized in 3 categories. One, the age. Okay, so as any other type of cancer, or most cancers, the risk increases with age. The longer we live, the higher will be the risk. Second, the so-called genetic risks. People with fair skin, light-colored eyes, skin that doesn't tan but has a tendency to burn, to freckles, are genetically more at risk for both melanoma and non-melanoma skin cancer. So higher is the melanin index on our skin, so darker is the skin, less is the risk. But this doesn't mean that people with high melanin index don't have any risk. Bob Marley died for skin cancer. So, for instance, the Asian and Afro-Caribbeans, the risk of skin cancer, melanoma on the palms, soles, and nails is much higher than in Caucasians. Okay, so although the risk changes depending on the melanin index, so genetic factors, everybody has a certain risk. So other genetic factors are the number of moles and type of moles. Moles are not all equal, so some moles are more at risk than others. And as you said, skin cancer can run in families. There have been identified some genes that predispose to different type of cancers, including skin cancer. And then, of course, the environmental factors. The most important is the UV light, the UV radiation. And of course, it is very relevant in an island like Cayman.
Yeah, we got a lot of sun.
Where the UV index is high most days of the years. And let's say the sunlight, the UV light, can amplify our genetic risks. I can give you an example. So you have a phototype 2, so you are considered as a person with a photosensitive, so it's a vulnerable skin, right? So your risk for skin cancer is probably a little bit higher than me. I have phototype number 3. If you lived your life in, in England, where there is not much sun, your risk, and I spend my life here, your risk for skin cancer would be probably higher than mine anyway, because of the genetic factors. But if you move, or a person with your skin type moves to Cayman and start having unresponsible sun exposures, the genetic risk will multiply. Okay, and so it becomes a real risk. So the sun essentially multiplies the genetic risk. How does the sun damage the skin? Essentially 2 ways. Try to be simple, right? One is the sunburns. Okay, so we know there are many studies that say higher is the number of sunburns we have in life, in particular in childhood and the first years of life, higher will be the risk to develop skin cancer in adult age. Okay, but the sun has also a cumulative. Let's say the damage is cumulative. So even if your skin doesn't really burn, or you are careful and you avoid sunburns, but you like the sun and you have too much sun in your day-by-day life, also that cumulative exposure to sunlight can, in the end, increase the risk of skin cancer. In children, it's very important to avoid sunburns because, again, it's difficult. It's difficult to avoid sunburns in children with photosensitive phototypes because children run around, they don't like sunscreen. Sometimes, you lose control of them. But yes, avoid sunburns in child is very important. And that's why parents are, responsible parents are afraid and careful with sun exposure. Although there are some studies I read recently which highlight how children living in a place where the UV index is high most days of the year and have responsible sun exposure might potentially become adults with reduced risk for skin cancer.
Really?
Yeah, for a number of reasons. One is because, of course, the skin reacts slowly to the sun exposure, so produce more melanin, maybe also vitamin D. There is some research that highlight the potential role of vitamin D, positive effect, can potentially reduce the risk of skin cancer. Yeah.
So, on a day-to-day basis, someone with light skin, or even, as you pointed out, even brown or black skin, you also have to be aware of this. Mm-hmm. But in going about our lives, how much protection how much caution do we have to have?
That's a good question.
To avoid like basal cell carcinoma.
It's a difficult question to answer, but I would say the simplest thing to do is to relate to the so-called UV index. The UV index is a kind of standardized scale which has been created to give people, an idea of how strong and potentially harming could be the UV radiation at some point of the day in anywhere in the world. And the scale has been created for people with photosensitive phototype, so people with high risk of skin cancer, fair skin, light colored eyes, blonde hair, red hair. So there are apps now that you can have on your phone.
Oh, to check it for you?
You can check in live the UV index. When the UV index is 3 or above, it means that the risk is there. So you need to start protecting your skin. How? There is no a single way to protect the skin. Of course, sunscreen, but also with clothes, with sun protective clothes, or simply the shade. For instance, when the UV index starts raising, at some point you can start thinking, okay, I need to put some sunscreen, okay? And then when it goes very high, 6, 7, 8, 9, a person with fair skin, you should probably consider it's probably time for me to be in the shade, or to wear a hat, to put my shirt back, or to protect my forearms. Even if I go out for lunch and I have my forearms exposed, if you expose it every day for years and the UV index is very high, 7, 8, 9, daily exposure to potentially harming UV radiation can, in the end, after years, cause you some trouble.
But is that for someone who has a lot of exposure because of their work, or someone just going and working in an office, do they have to worry about this?
It's another difficult question to answer, but the concept is I have a photosensitive phototype, and I drive to my work. It's 20 minutes, right? 20 minutes, the UV index is 5, so it's hot. Then the UV is strong. And on those 20 minutes, probably I won't have a sunburn, okay? Because probably my exposure is not long enough to have a serious sunburns. But again, the UV can damage in two different ways with the sunburn. So the cumulative effect. I still have 20
Over the
minutes
years.
Over the years, although I don't see any effect, immediate effect, that high dose, intense dose of UV applied to my skin every day for 10 years, 20 years, in the end, can lead to some, can start the process of skin cancerization towards melanoma or towards non-melanoma skin cancer. It depends on the case.
We have a caller on the line, so let's, if you just put on your headphones there, we'll get a question, a comment from our caller. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon, Chalo.
Good afternoon. You have a question for Dr. David?
Yeah, good afternoon, doctor.
Good afternoon.
No, I have a comment.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I once had a mole that was growing over my temple.
Mm-hmm.
And it started getting bigger and bigger. And I started praying and fasting. But then I also started using vinegar. And then I started cutting up little small pieces of garlic and put over it with a Band-Aid at night while I was sleeping. And in about a month's time, it practically went away. And it was getting so big before that it started pushing on the leg of my glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And my barber, the lady, kept telling me to go to the doctor to check it out because it wasn't looking good. And after a month using that garlic and that vinegar, it went away. But then it started coming back again. So I started eating the garlic. I started eating like 3 pigs of garlic every morning. And in about, I would say about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that mole completely disappeared. And now I don't have that mole at all. And I was concerned because it was growing right up against my temple. But garlic is some very good medication when it comes to cancer or moles. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the call.
Comment. Let's say a growing mole or growing skin lesions is not necessarily cancerous, okay? Garlic, in my opinion, has many properties, good properties for our body, I agree. I'm not aware of any, property against skin cancers. What I'm trying to say is that mole that this gentleman described as growing and itchy and bleeding and regrowing probably wasn't a skin cancer. So there are many skin lesions that can grow. It can look quite irregular and odd, but they are benign. And it's difficult for me to comment on how the garlic, impact, the skin of this gentleman regarding this particular lesion. I would probably consider that lesion as a non-cancerous, okay, non-cancerous. Non-cancerous means not necessarily, something with malignancy potential and, probably a benign lesion. There is a type of skin lesion called seborrheic keratosis, which is very common. Most people at some point of life develop it. It can grow very fast. It can grow, disappear, and grow back. It can be a simulator of skin cancer, but it's completely benign. The scalp and face is one of the target areas where usually they appears. So I wonder whether this lesion was actually a seborrheic keratosis rather than a skin cancer. But of course, this is more a speculation, and
So, is it fair to say that we have to bring things to an end, but that in a place like Cayman, where you can have, the glaring sun every day almost, that even though we're not out for long hours in the sun, if you are of a skin color that is vulnerable to it, to sun exposure, that we should always hold that in mind. I mean, even if we don't work in the sun.
Let's say the answer is we should understand our risk, okay, as individuals. And again, starting from the skin type we have, okay. My skin is quite light. It doesn't tan, has a tendency to freckles, to burn. So I have a risk. And then the unique things of Cayman is that you have this combination of, working life and outdoor life. When the weekend comes, you feel like I'm on holiday.
Get out.
And then I see sometimes working on the beach that people feel on holiday. They behave like an holiday and don't probably think about their skin, right? The real point is, yes, the sun can damage the skin, can amplify our genetic risk, okay? And we need to be aware of that, because if our plan, or we have been living in a place like Cayman for many years, it's like smoking a cigarette. You smoke 1, 2, 5, maybe nothing happens. But if you smoke 4 years, even a few cigarettes a day,
20 years later,
20 years later, you might have problems. But the sun can also, there is something that the sun does to everybody, regardless to the phototype, melanin index color of the skin, which is it makes our skin aging sooner. Okay, so the more sun we have, more unprotected sun of a certain intensity, UV index, sooner our skin will look older. We'll start freckling or will wrinkle. Okay, so and that's something that also has to be considered. If you two brothers, one is he works outside in construction, and the other one is a teacher. Okay, and so outside life, indoor life. When they get to their 50, 60, and you look at them, the skin of the person working outdoors, unless he's very careful, will probably look older.
Dr. David Altamora of Integra Healthcare, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon and telling us about skin cancer.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Have a good afternoon. We're going to take a break. Be right back.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive, drive smart. Cineco and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cineco motor insurance. Learn more and register at cineco.ky. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Think on no Cayman? Get out and explore the legends behind our landmarks competition. Visit any landmark on interactive map, snap a photo or video, then share it to Instagram or Facebook and tell us what you learned. Tag at MYSCH @legends_Cayman and use hashtag Legends Behind Our Landmarks for your chance to win weekly prizes and 2 major prizes. The more landmarks you visit, the more chances you have to win. Visit Legends Behind Our Landmarks.ky and find out where we from. Brought to you by the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture, and Heritage.
It's that time again, K-Man. The Pursuit of Excellence Foundation invites you to our 8th annual Ready, Set, Learn Back to School event, helping our students start the school year prepared, confident, and ready to achieve. Join us in Grand Cayman on Saturday, August 22nd from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Lion Center, and in Caymanbrac on Sunday, August 23rd from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Ashton Rutty Center. Come out for an afternoon of free school supplies, backpacks, refreshments, fun activities, giveaways, and so much more for students and families. For 8 years, Ready, Set, Learn has been bringing our community together to support Cayman's young people. And this year, we're doing it again.
So parents, bring the kids, spread the word, and come get ready, set, learn.
August 22nd in Grand Cayman and August 23rd in Caymanbrac from 2 to 5 p.m.
Presented by Pursuit of Excellence, the Lloyd Barker Foundation.
Empowering our youth, supporting our families, pursuing excellence together.
This is Gloria Macfield Nixon, Deputy Governor, and it is my distinct pleasure to wish Radio Cayman a happy 50th birthday. This institution has been the voice of the Cayman Islands for 5 decades. It has been the place that we have tuned into to get credible news. It has seen us through so many storms, and it has also brought us to our feet as we've danced, whether it's been to country music, to the latest calypso, or enjoyed a good gospel song on a Sunday morning. I am so proud of Radio Cayman as it grows from strength to strength, and I look forward to future generations celebrating its 100th birthday and many more to come. Congratulations.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And I was telling you about, why I started wearing the hat because of, a little skin cancer in my ear there. But I looked inside of this hat, and I found out that, I don't know, can we get a close-up of this? I don't know. Right here, it actually says, and this shows that this hat was made for this show. It says, "What's on your mind?" And that's what we want to know. What's on your mind? Yeah, I looked inside of it, and that I said, "Hey, that's pretty cool. A hat just for Talk Today. What's on your mind?" But yeah, we often just kind of take our skin for granted, right? Even if you're not going to go lie on the beach or by a pool, for, an hour, just sunbathing, as they would say, but just in everyday life, you don't need to be told that the sun is hot here in Cayman. Any place in the Caribbean. Part of why we love it here. Keeps us nice and warm, and sometimes too hot, of course, especially this time of year, right? But we forget about how much damage the sun can do to our skin, and we kind of just forget about our skin until something pops up on it, and something strange that looks kind of weird, and we have to be aware of that. And it's open line from here on out, right up until 2:30 when we close things off. Numbers to call: 1-800-534-8255. That is courtesy of Flo. You can also reach the studio on 949-8037, 949-6990, and you can WhatsApp us 925-3261. And let us know what is on your mind. We can talk about just about anything, including, taking care of our skin and skin cancer. And, skin cancer caused by the sun, basal cell carcinoma. I remember when I first went to Dr. David, and he actually, it was late in the day, and he says, "You're the third one today." So basal cell carcinoma, skin cancer, is something that is quite prevalent. And again, as the doctor was saying, it's not necessarily because you got a bad sunburn, which sunburns can, show up years later as skin cancer, but it's the cumulative effect after, 20 years of just being out and about in the sun. You didn't get a sunburn, but it just adds up over time. That exposure to, high UV, and some days are less UV than others, but sometimes when you step out there, boy, you can feel that burn in your skin. And that was something that a lot of the old-time Caymanians used to do. Of course, wearing a wide brim hat, that was a traditional thing. And women working out in the yard too. They used to have a yard jacket, right? Long sleeve. And that was over their regular clothes to, protect them from the sun. So make sure you don't expose yourself unnecessarily to, a lot of sunlight without using some kind of protection. And I didn't realize this until he was saying to, have a skin examination every so often, just to keep track of what's happening. And because as you get older, that's when it happens, because again, the cumulative effect over the years, and, by the time you get into your 50s, your 60s now, that cumulative effect is starting to play. And you should have, a dermatologist or even your GP to, just take a look and see what's happening on your body. Because early intervention is, the key. You catch it early and deal with it. So what's going on around the place anyway? One of the things that I was been in the news recently, the government moving to have a residential and tenancies amendment bill to update that, to find out if they want people to tell them if they want to see further changes to this bill. And this is all about landlord and tenant relationships, agreements, what can and can't be done in rental situations. And here is an opportunity for you to make your experiences, make your suggestions known to the government of what happens out there in real life, because you hear a lot of stories, from both sides of the coin. And lots of times it's very, very sad, I guess you would say, how people are treated because they are renting. I know there's landlords who will treat a tenant as some kind of lesser person because they're renting, right? No way to treat anybody. It's 15 minutes going up to 2 o'clock when we got to take a break. Be right back.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways. Offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Over the next several days, worldwide, there will be lots of celebrations and remembrances on the anniversaries of the death of Elvis Presley and the end of World War II. We should never forget and always remember the sacrifices many Caymanians made during that battle for freedom and our democracy. Yours and mine, democracy. You can hear more about it on your Yesteryear Musical, Saturday, 7 p.m. on Breeze Radio. You'll find it wonderful. Your Yesteryear Musical, Saturday evenings at 7 o'clock on Breeze Radio. Entertaining, enlightening, and inspirational. Topical with CI cultural and heritage flashbacks and the wonderful music of yesteryear, from the Thomas Edison era to the recent past. Your Yesteryear Musical, Saturdays at 7 p.m. on Breeze Radio, 105.3 FM in Grand Cayman and 91.9 FM in Cayman Brack and Little Cayman. Be listening. History is always echoing. Echoing.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we do have a caller on the line, so let's go to the phones. Good afternoon. You're on the Ever Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Glidden.
Hi there.
Hi. I just tuned in, and I wanted to make a quick little correction before you moved further on.
Mm-hmm.
The government isn't doing this consultation to see if the people will say if they want to make changes, or to see if the people want to say if they want to make changes. The government is doing this because they know the people want to see changes, and they're trying to make changes. Not if the people if the people will say if they want to see changes. We all know that everybody wants changes with residential tenancy situation.
Do we know what those changes are that are wanted?
No, we don't know. That's why the government are making some proposals. Yeah. So people can say we agree with these proposals or we don't agree, but this is also what we want to see. You know, we put all that forward. And I'll say this. You know, it's a small document. it's a small document. I think they're just. I remember he was saying yesterday that they're, it was a modernized version back in 2009. It was modernized at that time, but that time, what is almost 16 years ago now, it's that version of the document was no longer modernized. Technology has really vamped up since 2009, so there's a lot of different changes there. I actually haven't read the whole thing yet. I started to read it yesterday, and I should be ashamed of myself because this is my little pet project here. But I can tell you that we definitely. I was referring to your closing marks yesterday, by the way. Sorry. But I definitely, I know that people definitely want to see changes, and I don't know if you propose to put any recommendations. It's not only just to say yay or nay to what the government is proposing, but to put something else forward that they may not even consider. Because for me, I'll tell you some of the proposals that I put forward back in 2023. Is that notices can be served by electronic means. And, there's a lot of different things. I even propose that if law enforcement had to break their leases and stuff to move, say, from district to district or island to island, that they wouldn't be penalized the same as a regular tenant because, law enforcement does serve our community and that sort of thing. So I made quite a significant amount of proposal back in 2023, and you can be sure I'm going to make some more after I
any kind of lease agreement, though, because you never know what life brings. Mm-hmm. Any kind of a lease agreement should have, some clause that, even if you say you have to give, 30 days notice to break the lease, what you don't want as a landlord is, someone, 2 days before the month ends, say, "Oh, I'm moving," and "Oh, really?"
Yeah, well,
you're moving, and so now I'm left here having to try and rent this place.
Yeah, it's a standard. It's a standard thing that you, even in the absence of certain things in the law, because you have contract law too, that it should be saying certain things in there. I think one of the things that may not be enforceable, but I think one of the things that also needs to go in there is that everyone who has a rental property should have some form of lease, and the lease has to it needs to be laid out, every single thing, because we really, Cayman is really too small that we don't have these things, and in a manner of speaking, it's breaching human rights of people that reside in the Cayman Islands or have properties here and they're up for rental, but
at least protects both sides.
Yes, absolutely, and that's why I've advocated and advocated for landlords and said even or tenants, even if it's handwritten and it's just one page, and there's certain particular things that has to be put out in a lease, as well as some people like to have these long drawn out legalized jargon leases. Whatever the case may be, it should show a specific format of a lease. But what I was just saying is, one of the things I proposed was that, like I said, our law enforcement, our law agencies, and those, if they have to move, like from as far as I'm aware, they don't have preferential easements in residential situations. So if someone had to move, say where they were placed in Bordentown, and they decided I want to move from West Bay because I'm going to be stationed in Bordentown, so I'm going to move closer to work. It should give them an easement of, if they have to give a lease, a notice to vacate. Because what I notice some landlords are doing now, even if you give notice, some are still penalizing because you break your lease before the lease term is over. I've been getting complaints about those sort of things too. Because remember now, giving notice and breaking a lease is two different things, right?
Yeah, well, you have to abide by the terms of giving how many days notice you need to give.
Right, but what I'm saying, in the absence of a legal contracting law binding lease, there's no distinction to say. Most people don't do that here in Cayman. Now, those that know how to do it will do it like these bigger properties that has lawyers or have real estate companies or property managers. And what I'm saying is they will say, give 30 days notice to move, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they're still obliging you to say, well, you're breaking the terms of the lease. So there's really like no distinction between that. And even
You mean even if the person gives 30 days, they're saying
notice, yeah.
you're breaking this lease, so you got to pay me.
You're breaking the lease. You gave us sufficient notice that you're moving, but you're still breaking the terms of the lease because you signed the lease for 1 year.
So I'm keeping your security, right? So.
Yeah, so they can penalize. So some properties are penalizing residents, for that too. So all of that sort of thing needs to.
Yeah, well, that's taking advantage of people who don't know better,
Right, yeah.
I mean, getting a lease these days for, a landlord doesn't mean you have to go and spend a whole bunch of money at a lawyer's office.
Exactly.
You can, go online and get a sample, lease and download it, and
yeah, but
there you go.
Not a lot of those apply to. Well, we can't even say not a lot of those apply to Cayman because Cayman really has nothing much there for people to go on. But besides, but there's a standard thing that a lot of places do use. And let me tell you, the most predatory tenants are our tenants the immigrants and or our low income residents and families, Caymanians, and some working class people. They get preyed upon the most with these situations, but they also are the tenants in most regards that take advantage of landlords also. So we really need to get this law right. We really need to get it inclusive. It's as a standalone law and make sure that it applies across the board, because I cannot tell you the amount of heartbreaking complaints I get from.
What would you say is the most common complaint that you hear?
Well, the most common complaint is that people don't get their deposits back.
Uh-huh.
Even if they can show that they've left the place in a reasonable state. Another common complaint is that they don't get shown if utilities are shared or they have to inclusive. They don't get showed the bills. They just get told, well, this is how much your portion is that you're supposed to pay. And I believe every single person should be showed the bill. This is the total, and this is how we're divvying it up. My main house pays this amount. Your little built-on apartment pays this amount. Or in the case of some other properties that I know very well, the waters are on personal meters, and then that goes out to one general water authority meter, and then they tell the tenants basically different types of amounts, whatever the thought may be at the month. There's so much complaints that are so easily fixable in this law, and it's like I said, just because it's not updated. Government also needs to comply these utility companies to make sure that they have the meters for the utility companies. Water authority, not just say we're gonna recommend that internet or cable, I think it is, or internet, be one of those utilities that's also mandated. But there's a lot of properties that don't have water authority meters. They don't have CUC meters, or if they have the meters, they're not telling the tenants how these meters are utilized and how the charges are divvied up and that sort of thing. And a lot of times these people aren't getting. And I mean, if I show you the amount of messages that I have, it's tens and tens and tens of messages, like 30-something messages. I haven't even opened most of them because it's so heartbreaking. Even Caymanians, they don't get back their lease, even their deposits, even if they give sufficient notice. They have proof of leaving the property in the right condition, and they get told, oh well, this had to go to water bill, that had to go to light bill, and they don't get proof of what. There needs to be in the law also is that a written statement is provided to the tenant after move out of exactly how the money has been, the deposit, if it's kept, how it's been divvied up, and
had any repairs that had to be made and so forth. Yeah.
Yes, and receipts of those also. You can't just tell a customer, a tenant.
Sure.
I like the idea.
There should be an accounting. Yeah.
Yes, I like the.
Listen,
idea
it's 2:00. You know what that means, right?
I'm going to hold on.
You're going to hold on? Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the news.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. Scotiabank Cayman has profiled dual relationship manager Mabel Swaby, who says perseverance helped shape her career after moving to the Cayman Islands 31 years ago and learning English. In a social media post, Swaby says she began part-time work while in high school. She says her mother encouraged her to take responsibility for her future. Swaby joined Scotiabank in 2000 and has held several roles. She now manages client relationships while also handling credit analysis and lending. Swaby says the bank supported her career development and completion of an associate degree in business administration. She credits her parents, husband, children, and mentors with shaping her journey. In international news, a federal judge has dismissed the Trump administration's lawsuit accusing Harvard University of failing to protect Jewish and Israeli students from harassment. Judge Richard Stearns ruled today that the government had not shown ongoing civil rights violations on campus. The lawsuit sought to recover billions of dollars in taxpayer subsidies from Harvard. In other news, Britain is facing its fifth heat wave of the year, with almost three-quarters of England now in drought. Reuters reports this week that London reached 36 degrees Celsius, 15.4 degrees above its historical norm. The Met Office has issued an amber extreme heat warning across much of England, while water companies prepare to raise customer bills. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and let's get a weather update here. Current temperature in Georgetown, 89 degrees. It feels like 106. And forecast for the afternoon is calling some thunder showers. The winds are out of the southeast at almost 8 knots with the relative humidity of 74%. And the forecast, a tropical wave just west of Jamaica is expected to produce isolated showers throughout the afternoon. And tonight we can expect partly cloudy skies with haze and a 30% chance of overnight showers with possible thunder. Temperatures in the low to mid-80s. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots and seas running at 3 to 5 feet. We have a low tide coming up at 3:51 this afternoon and the next high tide at 10:08. Sunset at 6:53. The outlook is calling for a decreased chance of showers from Friday as the tropical wave moves west of the Cayman area. And we've got some two tropical waves out there in the Atlantic headed westward or west-northwest. And they've actually been downgraded a bit as far as the possibility of cyclone formation. Disturbance number 2, 50% chance of cyclone formation over 7 days. And they're moving into areas that are more conducive for gradual development. But hopefully they won't develop too much. We'll just have to monitor them and see how things go over the next couple of days. And we were talking about the Residential Tenancy Act. And before we go back to the phone line, let me get this WhatsApp message on that in here. And it's good afternoon, Mr. Glidden, regarding the proposed updating of the Residential Tenancy Act. Are there going to be any town hall consultation meetings, which should really happen? Following up on the rental lease matter, I am a landlord with tenants that have been properly treated. Also had a late friend that had the same tenants for over 20 years with zero discrepancies. So it's not accurate for anyone to state that everyone wants changes. So let's go back to our phone call. Did you hear what I just read there?
Yes, Mr. Glidden.
Yeah. Do you know of any town hall meetings? Because I just saw that you can email in your comments.
No, that sender of that message must have been telepathically thinking what I was thinking, because I was going to mention that when we came back that we do not want the Caymanans to get so desensitized that our MPs do not think that such a crucial piece of legislation is not worth them having these. I would think they should have district meetings, electoral district meetings, because this affects every single one, especially Caymanians. I remember, I'm not going to say who, back in 2023, I brought it to the attention of an MP, and he said to me, he said, Pat, that is not an act, it's a bill. I said, no, sir, it's an act. And I had to pull it up. I saw him somewhere out in the public, and I had to pull it up on my phone to show him. I said, this is an act, and it has been in place since, and I showed him the date on it. And he said, oh, well, that's okay, because that's not what he said, that most of the landlords are Caymanians. And I said, well, that's what he said. Most of the landlords are Caymanians. And I said, well, that's exactly why we need to bring this modernized and have it put in force, because it not only affects our Caymanians, but at that time I said that's exactly why we need to do it, because so many of our Caymanians are landlords, even if little small places onto their properties. But this, going back to tie in with what I was just talking about, is a very good reason why our MPs, each MP, or collectively the MPs for, well, we can't say that about Georgetown, but anyway, there should be electoral district meetings for constituents and residents of those areas and their MPs to bring. This is a very small document for them to read, very easy to read. I didn't read the whole thing yet, but I scanned it and I could see it's very easily formatted. And they should read this document and have a meeting. In the case of Georgetown, we know we have a separation of representatives here, but I don't see any reason why they couldn't. I know West Bay is very good at them getting together. They have let me see, one independent, one from the Purple Party, and two from the Blue Party. But they're very good at getting together. I
like your color coding.
Yeah, that's it's easier for me to remember than the names. But that district is very good at collectively coming together as representatives and going to their people. And I think every district should be like that. The Reds can get together and do their thing. The Purple representative for Georgetown can get together. They can do it party colors, however. But in the electoral district, so everyone will understand what these amendments are trying to recommend, and at that time they can give feedback too, because a lot of our Caymanians like to get online and make comments on social media and in the WhatsApp chats and stuff like that, but they're really not going to email any feedback
Yeah, that's all I've seen here, but from what I've read. Residential tenancies consultation at gov.ky.
Yeah, a lot of our people aren't going to do that, and it's, like I said, it's not just about Caymanians, but if we're talking about Caymanians, when we go to each electoral district, all the residents can be invited out. Anybody that's a resident in the area, because anyone that lives here or has property here is going to want to know. And we can't compare ourselves to bigger jurisdictions and say, oh, the MPs, the representatives don't go to their electoral districts and have these little meetings. Well, we're the Cayman Islands. We're small enough that we can still do this, and our voters want this. Our Caymanians, landlords, and tenants want this. And I'm going to say this to you, Mr. Glidden, before I get off. I have seen some very disappointing messages coming from tenants who rent from high officials in government, who rent from people in very reputable and credible statuses in the Cayman Islands. And you would be surprised to see how they are. I mean, it is. We really need this, and we really need that commission. I don't think a commissioner is going to cut it. We need a commission to oversee complaints and disputes and that sort of thing. And we need everybody to know from the top up to the bottom that this is one of the basic rights of humans, to be able to have some place to live and be comfortable in and not have to worry, but also for them to know that not because you're a tenant, you and try to take advantage of the landlords and stuff. I've done a few videos online and tried to make recommendations for the landlords, try to make recommendations for the tenants. One thing I would like to see included in it also is that landlords or property managers can penalize persons who they can verify with proof litter the property. They're allowed to penalize them, give them a fine, like a $25 fine or something, because we can prove that was your garbage that you didn't properly put in the garbage can, and now you're littering the property, defacing the property for the rest of the tenants that live on this property, because that's another thing that we need to safeguard landlords with and that sort of thing. But I'm going to think about it a little bit more, make you continue what you were saying, Mr. Glidden.
All right. Well, thank you for the call.
Thanks.
Yes. We have to take a little break here. Caller on the line. Stay with me. We'll be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
Housing in the Cayman Islands affects families, renters, first-time buyers, seniors, and vulnerable residents. The Cayman Islands Public and Affordable Housing Policy and 10-year strategic plan provide a coordinated framework to improve housing access, increase supply, and guide phased implementation over time. Public presentations are being developed and will provide opportunities for the community to learn more about the policy and plan. Learn more and get the facts at gov.ky/housing plan. A message from the Ministry of Planning, Lands, Agriculture, Housing, and Infrastructure.
Did you know that in an event of a hurricane, water designated for the purposes of drinking, cooking, and bathing must be disinfected before use? Water may be disinfected by boiling or through the use of chlorine bleach. To disinfect through boiling, simply leave the water on the fire 1 minute after it begins to boil. To disinfect with bleach, add 3 ounces of chlorine bleach to every 1,000 gallons of water. If you're not able to smell the bleach in the water after 30 minutes, then add half of the amount of bleach that was added during the initial application. Recheck the water after 15 minutes to ensure there is residual bleach smell. A residual bleach smell is an indicator that the water has been properly disinfected. For more hurricane food safety tips, visit the DEH website, www.gov.ky/DEH.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. We have someone on the line, so let's go to the phones. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, my friend. How are you?
I'm fine, and yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. But that song said 96 degrees in the shed.
Yeah, real hot.
Yeah. When you get a southerly wind, this is what you can expect. We've been quite close to the equator, and when the wind comes from the south, it's like the wind blowing like a fire, blowing it in the wrong or the opposite direction. So that's why we get so much heat in a southerly wind. I was listening to your last call about the landlord and tenant situation.
Yeah.
I'd like to go down on the record for this, that my property is private property. I rent a few units, and you don't come because you got a bag of money and say, well, you're going to rent one of my places. No. I put it straightforward. I have to have some recommendations for you, who you are.
So you want a letter from someone's?
Yeah. No one from the ordinary can just come into my place and say, I want to rent it. I don't care who you are, where you're from. So this thing about the government getting involved, I am a bit, shall I say, disillusioned. The government has got to come in to sort this out when you are the owner of your property. For the government to do this, if you are a proper landlord, you should lay down the rules and regulations and see that they are enforced. Specifically things like garbage. Your garbage must be properly disposed to a container that is closed, and it must be cleaned once a week by myself or the tenant. And run a clean.
And you provide them with this, do you?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
I have a shall I say, a happy set of people that live into my development here. It's like a big family. We got 6, 8, 10, 12 people, and we all got to get along very good because I give them maximum respect, and they give me as well. So I don't just...
That's the secret, huh? That is the secret, mutual respect.
Yes. You must know your tenant as well as knowing your landlord. So I don't know what's going on in the public with renting rooms and all of that. I mean, it's up to them, but I don't have no rooms for rent. You rent the apartment, you pay your water bill, your light bill, make sure that I have the access to your apartment every 3 months to see that it's properly cleaned and maintained, and that's all. Pay your rent, and no loud noise, no music going loud, and so I run a good little establishment here. Yeah, so not making myself.
But you would grant that not everyone is of your standard.
I couldn't agree more. Again, that is for the people when they're moving into some place to have a little bit of respect for yourself and see what you're going into, where you're renting. If you can't afford it, then what are you going to do? Is it for the landlord to take advantage of you? If you got a little bit of character and decency about yourself, look around before just going haywire and say, this is what I'm going to get, and this is so on and so forth. So it's a big thing that we need to think about, and I just hope that they get it sorted out. So that's what I want to say, and I want to wish you a good afternoon and blessings to you, my friend.
Well, thanks for your input. You have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a big part of any kind of relationship. You know, whether it's a landlord, tenant, employer, employee, that there is mutual respect. And that often, you know, in these cases doesn't happen. As I mentioned before, you see some landlords that treat a tenant as if they're some kind of lesser person because they are in a position where they have to rent instead of own a place. You know, so, I own the place, you're renting from me, so that makes me better than you or something. You know, that's no way to do things. But Kathy Miller of The Buzz, she got a buzz about something and gave me a heads up that there's supposed to be a government website that has all of these consultations, you know, in one place that you can go to find out about them and so forth. And Kathy's in the control room there, and I want to bring her on now because, Kathy, you were telling me that this website, this page, is not very easy to find.
Hey, Chalo. Thanks for just taking a minute to talk to me about this. But yes, it is not easy to find at all. I am accessing, there's a website. It is publicconsultation.gov.ky. I have referred to this site so many times on the Buzz in regards to all the different, the 4 bills that are out right now for the legislative package that the Ministry of Health put out. I'm talking about the cannabis reform white paper that's also out for discussion. That feedback is due September 1st. We now have the Landlord and Tenancy Act that we're looking at. I haven't had a chance yet to even look at that yet. And when I went to the website, I can't find it. I can't put in public consult or consultation Cayman. That website does not pop up. It will show different government websites like gov.ky/something to do with a public consult, which is usually leading to a press release, which does not give a link to the actual publicconsultation.gov.ky URL. Maybe 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 chances that I try at different parts of the day, the website might come up. This is really concerning to me because, one, I'm trying from my personal laptop and then my desktop computer at work. I spoke with Computer Services Department. They had some trouble, and then we found out maybe some reasoning why. So I have reached out further in government to say, hey, I think some things are going on here. But we have a bunch of consults that are out that we're looking for feedback on from people, right? Some really, really big things to do with shaping the future and the laws in Cayman regarding how we're living. If we're not providing easy access to these sites for people to be able to get the papers, read what's going on, offer their feedback, that worries me a little bit, and it makes me wonder, why is it such a difficult process? Because that's when people do tune out. I can't find it. I tried. I put my effort in. I tried. I'm not going to do it again. Again, I have put the feelers out there to say, hey, what's going on here? Maybe nobody else noticed this issue. Let's get it fixed, right?
Yeah, hopefully this is just a glitch that, you know.
It's been a glitch for a couple of weeks.
You've been trying for a couple of weeks?
Yeah. Okay. It's been a glitch for a couple of weeks, at least. There's another site that's similar that happens to as well. I can't remember the exact URL for that. I think that's the Auditor General reports. That site's down quite often as well. But in saying that, it's very important information. If people are looking to access that website, you can't just put in www.publicconsultation.
You can't just Google something some keywords?
Well, you can try. I tried on 2 different computers. I had somebody else try. The website did not pop up. However, you can put HTTPS dot, those 2 dots,
Mm-hmm.
// 2// publicconsultation.gov.ky, and then you'll get to it. But nobody writes out HTTPS when they're writing out a website.
So you got to do it the nerd way.
That is not even a nerd way.
With,
That's an extremely uncommon way.
HTTP.
That is we don't want you to find the website way. But
Well, thanks for making us aware of that.
Yeah, because I want people to access. I want people to know. I've had feedback from the buzz.
Well, it's
people
the very
can't get
purpose
onto
of what the whole exercise is about.
Exactly. So when people are saying, Kathy, I can't get to that site, and then I'm trying to go to the site, and it's, so if you're trying to get to it, you have to do HTTPS, that dot asterisk, I forget what it's called exactly, and 2 // and then publicconsultation.gov.ky.
All right. Well, there you have it. That's the buzz.
That's right.
All right. Thanks. Kathy. We've got a couple of callers. Let's see if we can get them in before we run out of time here. Let's go to the WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. Rambo speaking.
Yeah. How's it going?
2 minutes fast. Right here, I'm going to get some breeze with the rain this afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Get
cool us off.
Nice. Cool us off. That trench especially. There's just cyclones on the way, right? On the way. Right now, I know. I appreciate the endorsement yesterday with the Law Firm Commission.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, I appreciate that. We got 18 days left. 2 weeks, 4 days. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Navigate hard, right? You understand? And differently, Mr. Glynn, like yesterday, I go Mr. OT show, and the people more on. I was telling them, anyone that vocal, you need to consider who is on the voter list. You understand?
Yeah.
That important. Everybody can run them all up, but when your name on the voter list, consider that. That is consideration. And I got dropped the position now, right? This Law Firm Commission, where I understand how it's situated, they want to keep it prohibited, right? Indirectly, of consequences of enforcement. You see where I come from? I know you talk about they have different consultation in the pipeline, the vapes, in where tenement and landlord situation. But the point I make now, when it comes to enforcement, especially with the cannabis reform,
mm-hmm.
apparently, Mr. Glynn, condemnation should need to degenerate legitimate concerns of personal moral use. So you tell the public, despite your lifestyle, or if you're not elite, middle class, or whatever, these are disqualifier. You feel me? Of debate. So my email were very in sync, synchronized. Right? One day when I came out of school, I comprehend things. You keep me 3 times, I comprehend things. When I go on Facebook, I drop like a hot. You understand?
Yeah.
And you see, constitutional standards, Mr. Glidden, is secular, democratic, secular. We come to religion and state now. So we have a proportionate assessment. If criminalization should remain or attended. You understand? So the referendum with a printer truth that goes through easily based on the morning. You understand? And I got many things to talk about now, but I keep hammering that for years. Like, I'm going to run for election for that too.
Let me see if I can get one more call in here before I run out of time.
All right.
Good to hear from you. Let's take this last call. Good afternoon. You're on the air. You got the last word. Hello. You're breaking up there on me. Can you say that again? Hello? Hello? Oh, I guess we got disconnected somehow. But here we are, coming down to the end of the line here. And there's all these different things that, are on the table. And the government is looking for feedback on them. And let's hope that website thing gets straightened out, because the whole purpose of having the website is for people to get the information, for people to, get educated about what the government is proposing. And if people can't reach the site, and on some of these things at least, we don't see any plans for, town hall meetings, we got to get the exchange going. So hopefully, they'll get that website situation straightened out. It is 2:30. My time is up. I got to be going. Thank you all for tuning in and calling in. I'm Charles Glidden. One love.
Talk Today is brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered. Visit cineco.ky for your quote today.